Don't forget to use your code LUNA10 on retail lip balms. Go to lunamoonSUPyoga.com, brand new website, and you'll see all the retail there. Today's podcast, we're going to be going over woodworking with my partner in crime, and Jeremy. He'll talks behind the scenes of being a woodworker and what it's like to be a designer and work with your hands on a side job building his brand Rolfs Craft. It's ROLFS craft.com. It's going to be a brand new website coming in 2021. So I hope you guys enjoy the show. Hi, welcome to the podcast. This is Wave On with Misty. I'm with Luna Moon Stand-Up Paddleboard Yoga here in Sylvan Lake, Michigan. And I want to welcome you to this inspirational podcast where you'll find stories behind the scenes, storytelling on and off of the water. We might talk a little bit about paddleboarding, but there's going to be a wide variety of guests coming, and I'm excited to introduce this podcast for you. I hope you enjoy it. Oh, what do you think? We're in the studio.
Yeah.
How does it look?
Good. Yeah, we're going to do video this time.
We're doing video.
We're trying to blend these together and see what happens, right?
Well, it's podcast number 5, and you actually have requests to be on the podcast.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of filling in the blanks of the previous podcast. Like, who's that guy? Who's that guy's voice on?
And the ones
that's chiming in on the other podcasts.
The ones who knew didn't ask a question at all.
If you know, you know, right?
You know, and you didn't have to ask a question. All they wanted to know was when were you actually going to be on?
Right.
Yeah.
As a guest.
Yeah, as a guest.
Well, now it's number 5.
So yeah, it's number 5. And I think this is unique because we can do this video setup this time and, kind of have the studio a little more set up, but we still have a ways to go to kind of fine tune it.
Who am I?
Who are you anyway?
Yeah, tell me.
Tell me. Yeah. Who are you? You are the, now we have video to the voice. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we're going to put an image to the voice, and, you're not only the tech guy now, but you're actually a guest on the podcast.
Yeah. Go figure.
Yeah. So Jeremy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody.
All right. So you were on 2 podcasts when really, I kind of called you the tech guy.
Yeah.
In one of the podcasts, and
from unboxing the Rodecaster mixer to figuring it out, plugging everything in and turning it on, and away we went. We just start playing with the buttons and knobs, and
some have said that they going. Really like your voice.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
so
okay.
They thought you were a paid actor.
I sound weird, every time you record and then hear it back. It's like that's not the voice you hear in your head when you actually speak it.
I think everyone has that problem.
That's so weird.
Yeah, everyone has that problem.
Yeah.
And now doing this, I've heard my voice over headphones more than I ever have.
Yeah, I know.
My whole life. So very strange. But some of the reasons why, let's get into the show. Some of the reasons why we're having you on, not just as my partner in crime, but you also have a very unique story. We have a unique story of how we even met. We share a lot of the same passions and interests, and really it just sort of, kind of fell together that way. But from the very beginning, we already knew that we had those passions because where we even went to school.
Yeah.
From college.
Yep.
Yeah. So, I guess I could share the story of how, just to intro in the your woodworking that caught my eye in college.
Yeah.
So I saw your project before I even met you.
Right. Weird. Really, really strange
and
story.
We shared friends, same friends.
We indirectly met.
And didn't know who we were.
Right.
Each other were,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when I saw the boat project that was at school, you cannot miss the boat because it was 18 feet long.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah. First boat project?
Yeah. First personal kayak project build that I wanted to.
And you decided to do that at school?
I decided to do it at school. Hey, yeah, student loan money. All right, let's go buy a kayak kit and let's learn the process while we're trying to go through our final, year semester of art school in Detroit at CCS, College for Creative Studies.
Well, it caught my eye, not just being a boat, but, because I was into kayaking and stuff, but also noticing it as, wow, this is a huge undertaking for a project at school. Yeah,
project, and, it takes up a ton of space plus a ton of time when my time should have been, or it was split between that project for how the enormity of it and my transportation design, my major degree program, which I was working on as well at the same time. So
because the school we're talking about is College for Creative Studies.
Yeah, and it's not easy.
It's private college. It's not easy.
You're juggling a lot. You're learning what time management is and how to do it, and sacrificing a lot of other things to get these projects done, because the 4 years you spend there go by really quick when you really think about it.
Oh yeah, I would agree.
And you have to make the biggest impression that you can to, basically try to land that dream job that you're going to school there for. So
yeah, very different compared to what it is now.
What it is now. Yeah,
but
that was a few years ago now. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's been quite a while. It seems almost archaic is the way we went to school compared to the kids now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we keep trying, daily, yearly to keep up with the technology gap that keeps just flying.
The programs,
exactly.
The digital aspect of it.
Right.
But woodworking, it doesn't really require a whole lot of digital programming.
It's still, even with all the technology that's in our lives, I still find a way to have an analog experience, which is woodworking or craftsmanship. And our dog is trying to get attention here. This is Luna.
You can't
ignore Luna, and she's always got to be involved. It is named after her. So, anyways, so with
how many I mean, I know, but let's tell them, how many wood projects do you have now?
I've got
completed and working on.
Yeah, so I've got 3, actually 4 finished from the 3 kayaks, the first one that I built, which was mine, that about how we met, to actually once we met and got married, I built you one. A 16-foot kayak.
I waited very patiently for that boat.
That one was a work of art, because I really did something. I did a custom one.
Well, it was your second build.
Yeah, second build. Technically, learning some new processes. Every time I do a new build, I want to try something new, bake in a new process that I haven't done before to learn. And so that was yours. And then this third one it was a rescue from Craigslist. I found a 17-foot kayak. These kayaks are Chesapeake Light Craft kayaks. They're a company out of Annapolis, Maryland. It's a company that makes all these different, kayak do-it-yourself build kits. And that's how I got started with purchasing their kits and building them, and then just customizing them from there. So you just put your own personal twist on it. Yeah, we actually. So when we were in Delaware together, we actually went to their headquarters and visited their establishment. It was pretty cool. Spent a weekend over there. That was pretty neat.
There's a unique spot. Yeah. Very cool.
Exactly. So it's like,
very historic in a way.
Yeah, it was kind of a little bucket list thing, because you actually get to see the home of where the stuff comes from, and then it's just the whole nautical, theme of the whole town of Annapolis. The Naval Academy is there and everything, and
cute downtown,
historic. And people, and crazy seafood restaurants and everything like that. It's just really cool. So but yeah, and then the fourth one is the one I just finished finally after about 3 summers, is my first stand-up paddleboard, which is a 14-foot Kahalo design, which is a brand, or basically a brand or a type of a design of paddleboard that Chesapeake Light Craft sells. And so I took the basic kit and I customized it. And so the theme of the design is, it's a blend of new and old Chris Craft boats.
Yeah, I have some pictures.
Yeah, there you go.
that I took from
the
just
beginning
even
of
in the beginning. So, I mean, even what's the process here?
So the basic
going on?
Between the kayaks and the stand-up paddleboards, what this is called is a stitch and glue assembly process. So all the basic pieces of this kit are already pre-cut on a CNC mill and mill table. And it's basically it's 4 or 6 millimeter Akume mahogany marine plywood. So it's a really good high quality boat building plywood that is basically the foundation to all these builds. But here you can see the pieces are being basically stitched together with copper wire. And basically what you do is you basically assemble the whole hull design first. You've got the main, you've got the bottom, you've got the gunnels, and then you've got the inner cross sections that everything basically is wired together first. So you build the basic assembly of the hull, and then the inside of all the seams you epoxy together. Use a 2-part epoxy, and then this
is the epoxy, right?
Well, the epoxy, that's the fiberglass cloth that you reinforce all the epoxy seams. So, it's a really cool process. And then once everything is kind of frozen, you let the epoxy dry overnight, you can start snipping the copper wires away on the outside of the hull, and then start to refine and, finish it up. And then you marry the deck of the paddleboard to the hull itself. It would be the last thing you do.
Yeah, here's a shot with.
Yeah, so this was getting in more in the final phases of the development. And starting to do the finish work, staining of the deck, and then laying out the intricate deck lines that mimic a classic Chris Craft powerboat runabout. And so the hull of the boat, or the hull of the kayak, I keep saying boat, the hull of the same kayak, it's the hull of the paddleboard is painted in a red, white, and blue theme, which is reminiscent of today's current fiberglass Chris Crafts. So you have that look on the outside, and then the actual deck you stand on looks like a classic mahogany Chris Craft from the 20s, 30s, and 40s, 50s.
Right. Yeah, I got some other shots in here too. Actually, here is a drone shot.
Yeah, there you go.
With the boat and the
stand-up paddleboard build, but this is kind of the first run of demoing the paddleboard, making sure it's seaworthy and stable, and see what the performance was like. And that's actually, you're standing on it before it even received any deck pads.
Yeah.
So for grip and stuff for your feet. But that was the first run. So that was the summer prior or before I basically stripped it down again or sanded it. I just wasn't happy with the quality of the way it came out, because if this is going to be the flagship piece for the brand I want to do, which is Rolfs Craft.
Look at that shirt! Wow.
I want to make sure that this one is, that's the highest quality that I can achieve, right? So, since this photo was taken, I had then taken it back, sanded it down. The paint job and the line work just wasn't up to the quality that I wanted to get to, so I redid it again, repainted it, revarnished the deck a few times, redid all the lines again. And then now it's done with the actual deck pads and the logo that we did. Right. So it's kind of a spin off of the Chris Craft logo. I wanted Rolfs Craft, since that's kind of a family thing. The interest in doing boat building or boat restoration started for me way back when I was just a kid, in my before I was a teenager, almost 8, 9, 10, 11 years old. My 2 uncles took me under their wing, and they got the whole family into the hobby of restoring classic mahogany Chris Crafts, power boats. And so every weekend I would go over to my grandparents' house where the first barn was built. My uncles put up a barn to restore these boats. And every weekend I would go and help. I was small enough to be able to go underneath the boat and scrape the old bottom paint off, or get inside and sand or whatever. So I kind of learned the craft at an early age, and appreciation for it. Growing up, I was into cars and enamored with cars, classic cars, hot rods and stuff from my grandfather, my mom's dad, and then just the interest of different things related to craftsmanship and design just kept evolving, and I picked up the hobby, or the appreciation for the hobby of boat building, which was our boat restoration with my uncles and my dad's side of the family. So
were you forced into this?
No, it was kind of like, well, when you're a kid and it looks like a ton of work, he's like, hey, you're still a kid. You want to go out and play and do other things. So it was it felt like it was forced, but it was.
So you saw the work first before you actually got a boat ride?
Yeah, actually. Yeah. Well, yeah, actually, yeah, we did some work first.
Because I could see if you went for a boat ride and then you're like, oh, well, I get it, sort of.
It was kind of split. Some of it was, the first boat my uncle ever restored at that point, I think, was done, and I did get to appreciate going out on it and understanding what it was. And then the next boats started to come into the shop that we restored to put in boat shows, to actually show.
Okay.
And so that's where the hardcore work introduction was.
And then you would go to these shows and probably see other boats that were
so then you go to
bigger,
these boat shows,
fancier.
you see all the different years, from brass era launches, before chroming of metal parts was even a thing. It was brass, right? Polished brass. Mm-hmm. So you had these beautiful long launches that were just these big open utilities that carried people and goods with a single little cylinder engine in them and stuff like that, all the way up to fiberglass boats, classic fiberglass boats, which started in the late 50s. So, but then the whole in the middle between that is all the mahogany boats, right? So you have brands like Chris Craft, Garwood, Hacker Craft, Century, Shepherd, and even Dart is another boat company out of Toledo, Ohio. So you had all these brands and names and sizes of boats and eras of design, right? So you had, what was cool is you noticed, like, just with car design, the early boats from the 20s had a flat windshield like a Model T, right? And so then you saw that evolve started to get into different cuts of glass or angled windshields. And then eventually by the mid-50s, you started to see the influence of the automotive world of formed or curved windshields, or even curved plexiglass starting to come in and being applied to boats too. And so what's funny is just, throwing some of the history of the boat industry or the pleasure boat industry, especially with Chris Craft, some of the designers that parlayed as car designers also threw their hand in and helped design some boats too.
Sure.
Especially the Century brand boats made up in Manistee, Michigan. They had a lot of automotive influence, especially the interiors, from the dashboards to the steering wheels, the upholstery. Yeah. Was, I think, way more automotive influence than what Chris Craft was doing, which was really cool. But, that's the history you learn, especially, learning the hobby with your family and then eventually going to art school and just having that interest. I'm always reading and going online and doing tons of research for myself and for projects and stuff like that. So it's just been a really crazy passion to be involved with, other than, being an automotive designer during the day as my day job. I still feel that I have to work with my hands after work and do this boat craftsmanship passion as well. So
yeah, it's it's good that they can for the Chesapeake Lightcraft to offer those lines like that, like you choose. I mean, the materials come to you.
Yeah, it's a whole big kit. It's all crated up in boxes,
just like if it was a kit car, or some kit boats, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So that's nice that there is. I mean, I'm sure there's other brands that probably do it, but we're just very familiar with Chesapeake Light.
Yeah, that was the first brand that I saw that had the large breadth of boat designs and products and stuff that they sell. Big shout out to them. Plugging them hard here, but it's inspired me to understand what that process is. To the fact that I'm a designer, I want to then start to design my own.
Well, a lot of people don't know.
Eventually,
yeah. Let's get back to that. But a lot of people don't know. They don't understand that even that paddleboard is hollow.
Yeah, it's if you look at it, it's kind of built like a.
Because they ask how much does it weigh?
Yeah, it's mostly air on the inside, honestly, because of all the the way it's engineered. You have all those negative cavities and everything, and if you have perpendicular braces or forms on the inside, that creates the strength. It's almost built like an airplane wing.
One of the unique things too, this piece.
Yeah, even the finished product.
You see that a lot more on kayaks.
You have a cubby portal for storing your immediate items like your sunglasses, keys, and wallet and cell phone, right?
Yeah, there's the overall
final
shot.
So eventually over the over the winter here, we're going to try to establish actual website to get this.
Yeah, who's on cue for
who's
that
on deck
one?
for that? I don't know. Somebody over here, maybe.
Yeah, the website. I am not a guru at it. I've just done it for a really long time. So
the idea is to get this brand up off the ground. Just something fun on the side. I'll build you, a Chesapeake design, and then I'll customize it for you. It makes it easy for me to get the materials and stuff like that. Or, I'm going to eventually start working on my own design and, getting the raw materials. That's the next step, is to actually design my own.
So yeah, how do you see that evolving, or is there an initial plan?
I initially is getting these first ones built and just get the interest driven. But at the same time, I need to start working on
get a website
built, get some more exposure, sell this one. This one is actually for sale. That's going to help fund future projects. But the idea is to evolve into designing my own. So at least I started somewhere, building somebody else's designs, which is fine, And then obviously my portion of the design of these is a total custom theme or paint job.
Right.
And whatnot,
totally.
There's no other one that looks like this anywhere, right? So that's just like building a custom motorcycle or, a certain custom car.
Definitely. I don't have. I will put them in the slideshow when I do the YouTube channel, but I'll put the other boats in there. I don't think I have anything from the one that you're working on right now, but maybe just some behind the scenes finishing touches, because you didn't really build that one. It was more or less your
so I'm doing a restoration.
So
I've got the 3 kayaks that I'm actually going to restore and freshen up the varnish and paint jobs on this winter. The first one being the one I saved from Craigslist. I added to the fleet because the first original one, that the 18-footer that I built that you recognized before we met.
Yeah.
That one's getting a little long in the tooth. It's 14 years, almost 15 years old, and it's ready.
Ooh.
It's ready for a rub down and revarnish, and I'm actually going to add a foot controlled rudder to it and stuff. So that one's hanging from the ceiling in the shop right now. But the 17-footer, working on getting ready to do a refresh, fixed a few things that were done wrong from a previous builder who built the thing, and going to do a cool paint job, cool varnish job on it, and probably flip it eventually once it's done. But and then work on mine and yours, getting some refresh happening on those too.
Sure.
And then there's the Chris Craft. There's Julie Sue. So this boat here is a 1956 17-foot Chris Craft Sportsman. That's our lake lady.
Did you ever think that you would have one of these?
No, it was always a dream. After seeing my uncles own them and growing up working on them and everything, it's like, man, I really would love to eventually have one of those someday. And, on our lake, it's mostly pontoon boats. And I just never, from where I come from, I just never saw us or myself owning a freaking pontoon boat. It's like, I want more of a challenge, and being a wood boat enthusiast, it's more of a lifestyle, right? So I just wanted to have something cool. I was always, thought, would I own a classic car first or some kind of car first before a boat? And actually, the boat thing happened, at the right time, at the right place, the right time.
Yeah.
My one uncle had this available to sell because he wanted to get another one, a little bit bigger boat for his family. And so this one just happened to come across us at the right time when we wanted to get a dock spot on our lake. Mm-hmm. And just jumped at the opportunity. And once paid for it, I was up there, doing some final assembly of some pieces and parts for the interior and finishing some little dings and stuff in the varnish or whatnot to get it ready to put in the water. And it's been 4 summers now. Wow. Crazy how time flies. Yeah. And so it's always a constant little thing to tinker on. I did some stuff on it over the summer, just some engine stuff, but the varnish I did 2 summers ago. Added 5 more coats of varnish everywhere on it and redid the bottom and the bottom paint.
So we had some help.
Yeah, so our friend in the previous podcast, Cynthia.
Yeah, Cynthia, who likes to work with her hands.
Yeah.
I was actually going to ask her a question about that, but I decided to wait and save it for maybe part 2 when I drag her back on here.
Yeah. So knowing her, she came over and she
we did not even beg her to do
into.
this. She just came willingly.
So as I'm
like, fine, I'll make breakfast here.
Yeah. The summer,
I go in the garage,
or, the
crawl
winter,
all over the boat.
The winter and summer, I had this thing torn apart, revarnishing it. I painted the interior, the floor underneath the floorboards, the inside of the bilge area of the boat, and I needed somebody small enough to get underneath the deck of the boat, and our friend Cynthia just happened to be the perfect compact size.
She was into it.
So she was totally into it because she, loves working with her hands. She's like, oh yeah, dude, can I help? So she actually crawled under the deck and painted the bilge area with the proper appropriate paint. Gave her something to do. And and then you and her and us, we scraped the bottom, the old paint off the bottom with a real nasty paint stripper, and got that sucker all painted and stripped and ready for fresh new
coats. Now you have
and
another
stuff,
boat that's smaller than that one. Now I'm looking at the top view of this one, and I'm trying to imagine that other one.
It'll be similar with the lines.
Like in between here, what is going to be the size of that little boat?
So that boat's a 17. The paddleboard's a 14. The little the mid-50s Chris Craft Barracuda kit boat that I have is going to be 14 feet. So it's gonna, it's a 14-footer. It'll basically kind of be the tweener between those two, and that has you put an outboard engine on that. So that was a cool thing. So even back in the day, Chris Craft had offered to get everybody into the whole pleasure boating because the middle class was
almost like
the middle class was up and coming, and they want really these brands really wanted to get as many people out on the water as possible. So they offered their own kit boats that you could buy from Chris Craft. Kind
of like the Chesapeake,
and build yourself.
Idea,
Yeah, so the kits were, come show up at your house in a crate back in, 1955, 56. And you put it together. It's marine plywood, some similar processes to building the kayaks and paddleboards. And then once you can finish it the way you want it, paint it, varnish it, do whatever, do some upholstery and stuff. And then there's, numerous amounts of outboard engines that you can put on those little kit boats. So that's the plan. But what I want to do with this next project is, restore it. And then I want to find a new 4-stroke, cleaner burning outboard engine for our lake for that little Barracuda. So that'd be fun.
Now, most people come around, if they have a boat, it could be maybe any size. It doesn't even have to be the Chris Craft. Mm-hmm. But because you've had this boat now 4 years, and now we're becoming known as the guy in the garage or the driveway with something going on.
Some kind of project going on.
So people have found out about you, at least in Sylvan Lake, as the guy to ask questions, even little sunfish fixer up type of thing. Like, what do I do with this? You've become the guy to ask, how do I do this?
Yep.
What do I do? Some bigger projects than, like I just mentioned, the little sunfish is a little fixer up. That's a minor detail. But then when someone on the lake, blows their transom.
Yeah, exactly. Something crazy.
They're still coming to you.
Yeah, no. So some other neighbor friends of ours, since I've been doing this now for a few years, a couple of neighbors have actually purchased a couple classic Chris Crafts to add the addition to the lake, and so they found where I was right away in the neighborhood, and then became friends, and I've been mentoring some new people to the hobby, which is awesome. It just shares in the fun. Especially this last full summer, or actually 2 summers. Our neighbor purchased a really cute little 1939 Chris Craft. That
was it the transom, or was it? No, it was something else.
No.
Happened.
Yeah, it was the prop. Yeah, he ran it. The unfortunate experience of finding the stumps in the lake. You tend to wipe out either a prop or a prop shaft, which he unfortunately did both. And so that was a drag. That's right when he got the boat and he wanted to get it in the water and try it out. He was just super fun, or super excited and anxious to get out there.
A
little preseason, and unfortunately found where the stumps were on the other side of the lake. So I helped him through that, and then finding resources to get that fixed, and then eventually had an unfortunate engine problem, but other than that, it's a cool little boat. We got it back together. You know, he never gave up on, you know, trying to figure it out and learn. And he learned everything that there is to learn about a wood boat in about 6 months. Probably the biggest or most crash course that I've ever experienced somebody learning how to figure, you know, a new hobby out or a new, you know, lifestyle out was our friend. And it was crazy. And but he got through it. And, you know, fortunately, with my knowledge and help, I've put him in contact with the right people that get him back on the water. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
But,
totally.
now that we're up and running and, you know, it's just constant little, you know, tinkering. And it's just, like I said, it's lifestyle. You're always going to be putting paint and varnish on them and just keeping them pretty the best you can. And I found a chromer to redo chrome pieces on it when they start to get a little funky. So. But yeah, it's just, you know, like I said, a passion since I was a kid, and you know, I was fortunate to learn at an early age about what this was all about, and that's carried me into wanting to build my own boats, and just on a small scale, which is just kayaks and paddleboards.
Right.
You know, I might take on something bigger down the road someday.
When people ask you, or what is your response when they're too afraid of that? That's
yeah, so much. They say it's a first.
Too much
oh my God, it's a ton of work, so much work. I'm like, well,
or what happens if I scratch it?
Yeah, that's like, right.
Yeah,
that's the beauty behind these things. They're always, you can fix them, right? It's a little more difficult, a little more expensive, honestly, in my opinion, to fix a fiberglass boat.
Is that hard to persuade?
No, I mean,
that, or
it
do
just
they
depends
get it?
if that's what they're looking for. It's total choice. It's their own prerogative.
Plastic versus wood.
Exactly.
Why wood?
Yeah. Wood, because it's classic. You know, more people are going to come up and start a friendly conversation with you about your wood boat than they are about your pontoon boat or your fiberglass boat. It's
sorry,
pontooners. Sorry, pontooners and
I think they know
there.
that.
It's just they know that.
They think that. Yeah. This is. I think you have a funny line about one of your uncles when he takes his boat out, and people ask, "What is that you used to say to?" That he
has, let me tell you about my boat.
And 2 hours later.
Yeah, 2 hours later, and you know how many beers later. Yeah, no, it's a fun. That's what's cool. It's always you know, the boat is an icebreaker to meet new people.
Sure,
which is super cool. You know, we've met so many people. You know, when I was a kid, I met so many people doing the hobby with my uncles at shows and the home lake that we would always take the boats out to on Lakeville Lake, just north of Rochester, Michigan.
Well, anytime I pull up to the launch with the kayak, it's the same thing.
Same thing.
Whoa, what, you know, they start asking, what is it? Then I think last time I had it out at sunset, I mean, I got stopped and was asked about even just what I have painted on there, because I have a pretty unique
paint job.
Paint job with, you know, it's a little hummingbird and
a
dragonfly. Yeah. So, you know, just wrapped up into even the little paint decals. Yeah. But, well, they're not decals, they're painted. But
painted on,
yeah. They look like they're just decals.
Yeah.
Yeah. But everything's hand painted. And so that's a very unique boat compared to even that one. Or the paddleboard.
Yeah, like I said, everyone's totally unique and different.
The theme. So, yeah, I will, I'll include that, of course, in the YouTube, because I have a ton of photos behind the scenes waiting for the boat to be finished.
Yeah. But no, I got lucky to, you know, meet somebody that has an appreciation for it too.
Yeah.
You know, that doesn't happen often. And usually that's kind of rare, because not a lot of people are into that, and, you know, the time and money involved in keeping that up, you know, but I just look at it as, you know, like I said, a lifestyle. It's just something that you just take on and want to keep doing. It's something for me to keep, you know, working with my hands and keep learning. Keeps you sharp. You know, it's just some kind of process that's always involved, because that's the thing I like the most, is the process. Right.
So will you be working on besides the one kayak, are you going to be working on any other projects throughout the winter?
Yeah, other than the restoration of the 3, I want to try to start on that Barracuda project. Basically, I got to build a internal frame to be able to flip the boat upside down and put it on casters so it can be easily moved around, and then basically start from the bottom up, redo the bottom on it. And it was fiberglassed at one time, so I want to make sure it'll stay fiberglass. I just want to smooth it out and get all the paint off of it, make sure it's solid and good shape, and add to it or subtract to it, or subtract from it to just make sure it's right. And get going on that. But it's super fun, and it's just to know somebody like you that has the same passion for the water, just kind of worked out.
Yeah, we didn't plan it.
Right.
We were in Iowa, landlocked, and I thought I was gonna go mentally insane.
Yeah, before we found Sylvan Lake, we lived in the middle of the country.
Well, because we're from Great Lakes, a lot of water, and then I was in the East Coast, so I had the ocean.
Yeah.
And then to be in the middle of America.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that was not for me.
No, it felt tough having the land legs just a little too long. Fortunately, we got the opportunity to come back to Michigan, where the fresh water is. Yeah.
So everything, the hobby and everything that, just came together. It was already there in place, but having the right setting environment.
Yeah, exactly. I had my 18-foot kayak in the middle of Iowa with us on that journey, and people were like, "What the hell is that thing?" In the middle
all I remember was
farm country.
The dude. Okay, so it was a man-made lake. I don't remember the name.
Yeah, it was just kind of north of where we lived.
If you did not show up, it was sort of like the beaches in Delaware, but that was massive compared to this little lake.
Yeah, this was like going to Stony Creek Metro Park.
People would get there early, so you had to get there early if you wanted to get in.
Yeah.
They didn't, because of the parking, and it was part of a park and whatever. So
they had a certain capacity.
All I remember though is this guy that was in a plastic kayak, and it was one of those multicolored, like yellow, like neon green, yellow.
Yeah.
And he had the straw hat and the straw coming out, like sticking out everywhere. And he didn't have a shirt on. He had like some necklace on thing or whatever. And he was like having the time of his life.
Yeah.
In that plastic kayak in a man-made lake. And I'm just like, oh man.
Yeah, if you only knew.
He must be born and raised here, because he's having the time of his life out there.
Whatever it takes, thinking, I guess,
Get me out of here.
Right. Yeah, if some you have to have that oasis somewhere amongst all that land and farmland, and
it really wasn't that bad. It was it was good exploring. Yeah. We had fun exploring.
Yeah, it was an
experience. Took a lot of photos, and
you had to do a lot of creative things to keep your self sane.
Yeah. Trying to show up with that wood kayak.
Yeah.
Yeah,
people didn't know what the hell to think.
No.
Pretty funny.
It didn't. It was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, summer's here, Sylvan Lake.
Yeah. So once
pretty nice.
The past couple summers you wanted to start this paddleboard business and experience, I said, let's do it. I'll be the muscle. I'll be the brawn behind the operation. So I'm the one schlepping all the paddle boards on and off the trailer.
But we do not use wood paddle boards.
No, they're inflatables.
Classes.
They're I'm not doing that with wood paddle boards. No.
No. Well, okay. Actually, that's a good question.
Yep.
So, like I was kind of asking earlier, how do you? Either you persuade them or you don't when they ask why wood versus plastic.
Yeah.
And there's always the question about what type of paddleboard should I get?
Yeah.
And yes, there is a way to size up, your size.
Yeah.
With the size of board, because that's 14 feet.
Yeah.
And the boards that I use are like a 10-6.
Yeah.
11 is probably a good general size overall body type, but it's also based on what you plan to use for it. Yeah. So that's like a race board.
Yeah, this board's like a racer cruiser board for
that
a larger, would be good for person like myself.
Right, sure, but if it's a tall guy, that'd be great for the Tahoe SUP stand-up paddleboard race. I forgot what the title of the race.
Right,
yeah, or they go across Tahoe, Lake Tahoe. Yeah, I could see that. The point of the nose, that's
cuts through the water.
To cut through the water. Any waves, resistance of the wind, all of that is part of it. And of course, then the weight is another thing.
Right.
I feel like that's not the lightest board because you can have carbon inlaid on race boards.
No, that's definitely not the lightest. But
right. But,
those race boards are narrower.
But that's probably got the right
everything.
amount of weight, I feel like, to cut through big water.
Yeah, because those waves could get big and the stability, you'd still want a little bit wider stance. At least I'm still learning paddleboarding myself, but to see what the racers actually use, those real narrow race boards made of, carbon Kevlar and stuff. And I just, how in the hell do they keep their stability and stance on that thing, especially on a giant lake like Lake Tahoe? It's like it's crazy.
Yeah, there's a lot of different type of race boards. They're pretty pricey.
Yeah.
So inflatables, I mean, let's, go down, reverse
Yeah.
Into the board type. And inflatables, I mean, they're perfect for beginners, but also to do stand-up paddleboard yoga.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, on them.
Yep.
So yeah, it depends on what you plan on doing with them. A lot of beginners, inflatables I think are great for beginners.
Yeah. I'm a beginner, and it's been great for me. That's how I've been learning is on our fleet of boards, and I wouldn't be where I'm at now if I didn't start there.
But again, every board has its own purpose.
Right.
So that's why I could never just have one board.
No, having a variety is nice. Yeah, we've got other hard boards in the collection on the wall in the garage.
Well, the little one, that's a fun one to have.
Mm-hmm.
And if you really want to test your stability,
Yeah.
you start going down into a smaller board size.
Yeah.
But that board is versatile.
Mm-hmm.
So it can be a wake surf, it could be a surfboard, it's a paddleboard.
Yeah.
And then toward the end of the season, I was playing around with some wind using a sail.
Yeah.
And
the paddle sail.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. I got to play a lot more this year on the water than before, which sounds crazy, but just because we live here.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking forward to doing a little bit more dabbling into that in the next season here coming up. And just probably getting some more equipment.
Mm-hmm.
Some other, stuff to play with that I noticed out on the market. So, yeah.
Not to say that we didn't already do that just a week ago, was adding another type of craft to the collection with the sailboat I just bought accidentally. It was too good a deal to pass up. Just picked up a laser sailboat for next summer.
So if you're into the water, you're into the water.
You're into the water. It's a sickness.
Okay. It's like I said, I can't have more than just one board.
Yeah.
It's not that I have to have the one of same. I have to have different styles.
I guess I can't just have more than just one boat.
Well, what's nice about this is the variety, right? We have a motorboat.
Yep.
Okay. Not all of it is powered.
Right.
And then, or man powered. And then with this sailboat.
Yeah, fun little sailboat.
When it's windy.
Yeah.
When it's too windy to take the boat out.
Yeah, power boat out. You can go take advantage of the wind with a sailboat. Yeah.
Right. So I don't know how to. I wanted to try or learn last year, but it just wasn't really possible.
We learned a little bit with our neighbor's sunfish boat, which has been fun, and there's a handful of sunfish sailboats out there. But my dad was always like, you got to get a laser for that. You got to get a laser for that lake. It's faster. It's a one design Olympic class. It's more valuable, and it's just way more fun, more stable. And I'm like, all right. So I've been looking for a while, checking Craigslist and whatnot, and actually, just at the end of this November here, a coworker of mine, she has a laser. She kept it down at a yacht club down in Lake St. Clair, and
very cool.
She was ready to sell it. And she knew that, I was interested and been kind of looking for one, good deal, the right boat, something with a trailer that's transportable, easy to move around or take with you if you want to go somewhere with it. And she called me up, say, hey, I've decided to sell my laser, and here's the whole, package. This is what I have with it and everything. And we talked back and forth, it's like, oh man, she was smart, because that was, end of November was a big pay month for us. Like, it's the big pay week, don't you? It was kind of a funny joke anyway.
Yeah.
With her. And it worked out. It was a smoking deal, and added that to the collection. So I look forward to learn how to sail that. And it's, it's a great boat. It's a real good boat for beginner sailors to learn how to sail on. And that's, my uncles are the powerboat side of the family, where my dad is the sailor of the family. And he's super stoked, excited to try it out too. So
I bet
that should be fun.
Yeah, that will be. Well, and it's kind of funny. Well, not funny entirely, but where I was going with it is the fact that, like I just said, where we had spent so much more time on the water. And I said this already in a previous podcast about how much more time we had to be on the water.
Yeah, because of the pandemic situation.
Yeah, and we've always taken advantage of the lake because we just like it, and it's here, and it's just so easy to go and do something after work and on the weekend. Yeah. But we've always gone up north or even cut the season short at the end when we want to go out to California or out west somewhere. Yeah. And we didn't do any of that. No. But we had the funnest time on the lake.
We took advantage probably the most we have on our lake this year.
And I think it just kind of geared us more to even, appreciate and look forward to the next season already. Yeah. And it's not just because we have crappy weather right now.
Yeah. No, right. Now you're in the phase of yearning for next summer.
Yeah.
Before this previous summer even ended, you're like, oh man, we got the Michigan gray cloud deck coming in for 8 months.
Yeah.
It's going to suck, but
yeah. So, and even, I don't know if I can mention. Well, I don't know. It probably doesn't matter if I mention his name on here, but just our dock neighbor, already looking forward because we got the laser and he has a little sunfish and and then like I said, the things that I'm looking forward to start trying for next season. And even if I was to offer like a specialized class for that equipment, it's just a different way to use the paddleboard. Yeah. And take advantage of wind. Yeah. So it will be, it'll be a little bit more, I guess. Well, actually, I haven't thought about that, how I'm going to roll out that class type yet. But
doing everything, but actually adding a windsurfer to the collection.
Yeah, that is true.
Don't want to go there. We're at capacity right now. With all the stuff that we've got.
And we have neighbors with toys too that have those. So it's
right. So if you don't have it, you're likely to have a neighbor that has something that you can.
We have some really cool neighbors.
Yeah, jump on, whether it's a wakeboard boat or, a cool pontoon boat ride is always appreciated when you just want to go chill and, cruise around the lake at sunset.
We actually had fun even doing that. Previous in the past, we didn't really go on the pontoon sunset rides. Yeah. And we did this year. And who did we have with us?
Yeah, we had Luna.
Luna and Leah. Her buddy.
Shout out to Greg Miller.
But I just looked at those pictures the other day and how cool that we never did those things before. Right. It was just, I think you almost did maybe take advantage of where we were at, say a year or more, because you just ran home like we're just going to go do dinner or go out to dinner. Yeah. And we didn't do any of that.
No, with us, everybody pretty much staying home. We've, everybody's made their own meals at home or brought their dinners to the lake. We've had, we would make a meal and take it out on the boat and have a sunset dinner cruise, right?
Even ate at the dock. Yeah. Many times. Right.
Where normally we would just, I don't feel like cooking or anything. We just go out to dinner and
then I was even getting asked, of course, a lot more to be out on the lake. Yeah. And I took my lunch to the dock. Yeah. I would take a cooler and a snack, a lunch, some water, something to drink. And so I was on the water a whole lot more than previous. Yeah. If you ever thought that could possibly happen, it did.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And
it was a positive out of everything that was going on.
Now that you're used to it, you kind of see the same thing happening this next summer too,
Yeah, I kind of do have that prediction. Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, this was fun.
Yeah. So what do you think about your being here and on the podcast and
put a face to the voice?
Well, you'll probably be around more often. Yeah, you'll pop in here and there and
I love I like to be your sidekick when you're doing this stuff. So
Yeah. So it's, whether it is a little bit on the, tech guy, but, also chiming in and.
Yeah.
So.
Keeping it going. Big things up and put them down. I'm the hired muscle.
Where's his hat? Does he have a hat yet?
Who?
You. That's what everyone would ask me.
Yeah. Where's Jeremy's staff hat? He's staff, right? He's
he needs a hat.
He's the bouncer. He's the No, it's a fun hobby, fun lifestyle that we're fortunate to be a part of, take advantage of, and now we're doing podcasts to share our experiences and passions too. So.
And the unique people that we're
and we've got
surrounded by.
So many cool friends that we've met through this hobby and through, boat building or paddleboarding, whatever, just outdoor lifestyle, you know. It's, I wouldn't have it any other way, It's been super fun. And, just look forward to the next big project, and keep the process going. So. Yeah,
awesome. Yeah. Well, I'm glad you could come back. You could come back on and have your own episode instead of being the voice in the background as the paid actor.
Yep. No, it's been a riot. I'm glad we got to get this one under our belts.
Yeah, definitely. Yep. So, okay, well, I know I have a lot of work to do. What is it? rolfscraft.com?
It will be.
Yeah, well,
don't shout it out yet. We got to secure that domain.
Oh, no, it is.
Oh, yeah? Oh, wow. Did you?
I think so.
Wow. All right.
Maybe I have some work to do right now.
Oh, shit. Just kidding.
Well, yeah, I'm working. Yeah, well, okay. I've already said this, but Lunamoon, SUP, SUPyoga.com, that's a brand new website. Yep. MistyMarkham.com has always existed for a long time anyways. And I now am redesigning that one. So if you go to MistyMarkham.com and you say, or it says coming soon, your classes and everything else is on Lunamoon, SUPyoga.com.
Nice.
Anyways, and then yours will be next in line as soon as I can get mine up and launched.
No, take your time. We're going to get this going.
Plus, I got to get my feet back into it.
But eventually this board here, this board is for sale. It's actually at our friend Taylor's house across the lake. He's been kind enough to let us store it as a nice piece of art in his tall ceiling house. And it's on display over at his place for the winter. And
so if someone was looking for a buyer, to ease someone's mind, if they felt like that, if I hit a rock or something, coming into shore, because it could happen. Yeah. Would you be doing the repairs? Like, I would
offer my services. Yeah. Maybe I'll do something like, the first full season, I'll offer, actually either repair, or I haven't thought about it yet, either, repair, or I will teach somebody how to fix the board. Right. So.
Because then it becomes their own.
And because you're kind of
learn something, take a little piece of that.
It's a
personal
piece,
to themselves.
It's a piece of artwork and it's a functional thing. So the idea is somebody would have a large ceilinged house to like display this for the wintertime and then use it in the summertime. Yeah. That's the idea. So, but it's, you're taking on a kind of a lifestyle thing, and if, but you know what, little nicks and dings and scratches, that adds to the patina. It shows that somebody's using it. That's why I haven't really touched our kayaks for years since I've built them, because you just want to use them. If you don't obsess over, every little last deal. I know it's not a showpiece. It's supposed to be a functional, go out and have fun. It's like these classic Chris Craft boats. There's trailer queens, just like classic cars. There's trailer queens that never.
It's just how I am.
Get out and be driven or be used.
I'm not afraid to use it, but I do, when I do get a little scratch, I'm like, oh man.
You got to get out and use them. It's fixable. That's the part I like, is the process of either building or fixing. So it doesn't matter.
So you're saying easier to fix this than blow molded plastic?
Yeah, you can't put the plastic back. Right? You can put, some fiberglass or, fiberglass epoxy and paint back on these things to get it right back to where it used to look. Sure. The way it used to look versus
and if you really wanted to undertake a project, you could repaint that whole thing.
I could totally change the theme, like I said, if this thing takes off, I'll build to order.
Maybe not that one necessarily, but something else that's a little more simple.
It's going to be build to order, right? So it's going to be, what the customer wants. Do they just want a completely varnished, clear, natural paddleboard, or do they want a cool custom, painted graphic theme? We can do vinyl wrap. We can do the foam padding. There's Sea Deck that we can design and do a cool deck on it, logos, any kind of crazy custom stuff. That's where we have the capability of doing that. So
totally.
That's going to be the beauty with what I want to start is total custom, one-off, made to order kayaks and paddleboards. So
yeah, very good, great. Yeah. I think there's a lot of room for opportunity, and who knows?
Yeah,
who knows what'll happen?
Yeah, no. Look forward to the next projects.
Very cool. All right, awesome. Well, thanks for coming on and sharing and. Yeah. We'll
see you at dinner.
Yeah. All right. I guess I got work to do.
Yeah.
I got to get off this thing.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks for the opportunity. Later, everybody. Peace.
Sweet. So enjoyed having me on the podcast. In the link or in the description, I'll have a link to my blog that will have some pictures and some description about paddleboard building. And if you want to reach out to him, rolfscraft.com is a new site coming in 2021, but I'll provide his email if you want to make a custom order or reach out for maybe some sort of special project. Who knows? If you pitch him the right idea, maybe he'll be game. Anyway, I hope you guys are enjoying the podcast. Don't forget Luna 10. Go to lunamoonSUPyoga.com.